it's very tempting to just go out under the sun, put some sunscreen on, and that's it. You're going to be super active. So we're going to talk about that today. Welcome to drashori.com. My name is Dr. Ashori. I'm a board-certified family medicine physician. And on this channel, I talk about healthy aging, the steps and actions we can take to be as healthy as possible to prevent long-term chronic diseases. So summertime, being active, a couple of things to pay attention to. One is the amount of sun exposure that we get, and two is dehydration. And I would say three is sort of the combination of eating at barbecues, drinking a lot of beer, alcohol, maybe those activities. So we're going to address each one of these. The most important to me is probably the sun exposure. If you have darker skin, you're going to absorb sunlight in a different way. If you have lighter skin, you're going to have a higher chance of burning. And the current narrative is that as long as you put on sunscreen, you're perfectly fine to be out in the sun. Some of the problems with that is that sunscreen also has some chemicals in it, which is worth paying attention to, though fortunately most of it has been tested and is pretty safe. But it also blocks the natural way your body will turn ultraviolet light into vitamin D. So you do need some exposed skin for at least 15 minutes a day of a large part of your body with direct sunlight to convert enough UV lights into vitamin D. And sunscreen is going to prevent that. Even a dress shirt like this is going to prevent it. So instead of maybe worrying about how much sunscreen you're going to put on, a better method is to time when you're going to be out in the sun. For example, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. is a wonderful time to be out in the sun. And then around 4 p.m. until later, 3 p.m., it's probably pretty safe. But the time between that, when the sun is at its highest, that's when you're going to get really, really strong rays because the earth is closest to the sun, or however that works. You're just getting way too much heat. You're getting way too much ultraviolet exposure, and that's going to increase the risk of skin damage. However, there are good studies to show that generally slow exposure, so as the summer months come, get your body accustomed to some ultraviolet exposure. Your skin will naturally shade a little bit, and that can help protect from sunburns. When it comes to sunscreens, you have to do your research. You have to make sure it's a good quality brand, a brand that tests their product, and try to minimize the amount of chemicals that's in your sunscreen. There are certain chemicals that are UVA and UVB protective. So these are the broad spectrum sunscreen options that are out there. There are wonderful organizations, third-party organizations that certify these. And so you can have a little bit of like peace of mind, like you're using a good quality product on your skin. But again, it's not always necessary. You can be out in the sun during latter parts of the days or early in the morning without a lot of protection. Generally, a little bit of a hat can help protect too much sun exposure into the eyes and over your bald head if you have been afflicted with that. When it comes to hydration, probably the most important thing is to avoid getting so dehydrated that you then develop migraines or get super fatigued and then have to lay down and then have to eat a lot of food just to recover. So hydrate consistently, but obviously you don't have to drink so much that you're peeing all the time, but just to try to consistently hydrate. And fruits are a wonderful thing, especially in the summer. There's a lot of good data to show that during the summer months when fruit is naturally available, that's probably the best time to have a lot of fruits. And as the winter months and fall comes around, that's when you can slowly cut back a little bit to decrease just a little bit of less fructose exposure and focus more on vegetables. Hydration is going to help your skin be healthier, is going to help your eye muscles strain less. It's very, very protective. So I did a recent video on hydration, and again, it's not about having your 32 ounces of water. It's to try to become so in tune with your body that you can tell, like, yeah, my eyes are dry, my lips are dry, I feel tired, I feel super hungry. Those are the classic signs of dehydration, and if you can avoid that, that's great. All right, number 3 is going to be summertime barbecues, alcohol, that sort of stuff. One way to think about the human body is that it is incredibly capable of fighting any kind of inflammation or damage or oxidative stress, but it can only handle so much in one setting. So if you're under the sun, if you're dehydrated and you're drinking alcohol, there is some data to show that the combination of that can be a bit problematic and it could overwhelm the system. So instead, try to time your alcohol drinking and try to minimize it, especially when you're already getting a lot of sun. Think of it this way. Sun is going to cause a little bit of damage. Alcohol is going to cause a little bit of damage. Both of them are going to dehydrate you. Combining those two together is generally not as easy on your body. Minimizing that is going to be incredibly effective. It's normal to get pulled into many barbecues, many family events over the weekends. And so all of a sudden, every weekend, you're drinking a ton of beer. Then you're going from one party to another. So setting a limit for yourself is great. Minimizing the alcoholic beverages. You can have kombucha, you can do non-alcoholic beverages, and you can just experiment with really fun non-alcoholic beverages to still have a good time at any kind of barbecue. So that's it. I hope this is helpful for you guys, how to stay healthy, how to be active still with the heat of the sun in the summer. Thanks, guys.